Nutrition, episode 16 of the podcast, and we're going to talk about how to get healthy in 2024. This video is pretty much a short type of video I'm going to be making. I'll be talking about how to get healthy, what you should really focus on. This is supposed to be simple. This is not supposed to go in depth into hormones. This is like a step-by-step for the normal average person who's just starting, literally who's just curious, like, how do I get healthy? What am I doing this for? You know, like more of a reflection type of video than like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't like making videos that it's like a one thing fits all. I like to make it as if it depends on you. Of course, if you're trying to focus on one thing, then I will make a video about that. Like, if you're trying to get strong, I would suggest like the 4 compound lists. But that's besides the point. This video is just going to talk about how to get healthy. You know, how to just be in the gym for the right reasons, in my opinion, and what I would suggest what to do. Okay, let's get started. How to get healthy in 2024. What are you doing this for? Is this a negative or positive feeling? So a lot of people like go to the gym because they have something bad happen to their life. They got dumped, they broke up with their girlfriend, they're unhealthy, they hate what they look like, body dysmorphia, so many other problems with that. But besides the point, my reasoning for this pointing out, because it's not a good motivator. Yes, you will go in the gym and try to pump up maybe for a couple of months, but then when you realize that motivation is gone, when you eventually went over it, because eventually you're going to grow to a different person, when you eventually went over with that broke up or that relationship, or you just don't care anymore, then that dampers off. Even when you're doing it for someone else, like let's say you want to get healthy for your kids, that doesn't mean you're gonna have that motivation forever. That doesn't mean anything, especially if your wife is eating like shit and you're the only one eating healthy. You can participate with your kids in eating, because eating is a big, vast thing we do in our culture in America and other places. So you might just damper off and say, fuck it, I'm just done with it. So the reason why I point out the negative feelings, because it's most common. For me, when I started fitness, it was a positive thing. I want to get better. I want to become healthier. So maybe that's why I have the good tradition to go into fitness. I didn't have the negative connotations. I didn't have negative feelings, you know? And I bet 100% that really pushed me to the direction I am right now, to actually become better and do this for the long term. I've been doing it for 3 years, and it's going to be four years when I turn 17. So this is going to be the long term. But are you doing it for positive feelings? That's another thing. So if you're doing it for positive feelings, like, I want to get better, I want to be stronger, I want to do this for myself, not maybe for someone else, but I want to do this for myself. I want to focus on building discipline, because fitness is not just pumping iron in the gym, it's also going to a different schedule and doing something that you don't compare yourself, trying to figure things out, making decisions on the fly because you don't know what to do, especially if you don't have a trainer. So it's a lot about positive. So I really just want to point that out, negative, positive. Most people who are negative, or who have a negative feeling and just went to fitness, they might not gonna stay for long, and if they do, it's gonna be a negative point of view, and can create a lot of problems down the road. So I just want to put that on. How are you feeling mentally? For example, do you want to prove other people wrong? This goes to the other thing I just talked about, negative feelings. If you're not mentally there and you just got broken up with, or you know, you hate your body and you're trying to lose weight or lose weight or get bigger, that's not going to be in the right direction. Of course, that's easier said than done. If you have a negative feeling, and it's not hard. It's really not hard. It's not easy to take that out of you, because it's a negative feeling, right? But you have to understand, even if it's a negative feeling, it's a motivation. You have to change that negative to a positive. Like, okay, I do not like my body where I'm at right now, but I shouldn't self-disrespect myself because of this. I'm trying to improve myself right now because I'm going to the gym. I didn't turn to other bad behaviors. I went to a good behavior to self-discipline myself. So it's like something like that. So, you know, you don't want to do it for other people. I think that's not a good approach, in my opinion, because, well, if you do it for other people and those people are not doing things that you want to do, so if you're trying to be healthier for your wife, and your wife is not, you know, eating the right way, it's kind of hard to really it's kind of hard to really motivate yourself then, especially if you have a lot of processed food around your life or you're overweight from the beginning and not a lot of people are motivating you. It's kind of hard. So just see where you're at mentally, trying to figure that out. Now here, what I would suggest. This is the thing. If you're trying to get healthier after lifting weights, I right off the bat I suggest sleep. Sleep is first. Stress. If you have kids, I know you have kids or a busy job, this is going to be harder, but you really focus on sleep and stress. If you focus on those two things, you will get the positive outcome of being stronger, being more disciplined, being more focused, and not super angry all the time or not stressed, because you can't make a good decision or a decent one if you're stressed or you can't think straight. You're probably thinking that you could think straight because you're so used to it, but you're not. You just don't understand yet because you're not aware of how much sleep and stress is impacted, especially if you're used to getting 6 hours of sleep and you're just not aware of what 8 hours of sleep feels like. So you just have to focus on those two. But that's besides the point. Okay, well, I would suggest focus on protein, fats, and carbs. Protein is amino acid. You get essential amino acids to build up muscle cells, to lose body fat, and recover. So any stress, physical stress or mental stress, so any yard work you do or something like that, that's still physical stress, or building muscle in the gym, you need protein. I recommend 0.6 all the way to 1.5 grams. If you're 200 pounds, eat 200 grams of protein. That's what I would recommend. Fats and carbs. Fats, you need fats to regulate hormones. I suggest for most people to have 80 grams of fat. Just because fats can, like I said, build hormones, help you lose body fat, because it's another form of it's another form of nutrition you need, like saturated fats from animals, unsaturated. You need fats to actually have a productive hormone system. You need it. Fats don't make you fat. What's going to make you fat, ironically, is having low fat, especially paired out with low sleep. Because if you don't have a lot of fat, and the cause of that, you're going to have bad skin problems. You're going to have bad nails. You're going to have bad hair. You're going to have bad sleep, bad stress. So you need fats. Carbohydrates is an easy way to get energy because it goes to your bloodstream faster. Even complex carbs like potatoes, starchy carbs, potatoes and slow-acting carbs will go to your bloodstream a little slower, but at the same time has a positive effects. I highly recommend carbs, even though you hear these diets like keto and stuff that eats meat. That is a good metric, but at the same time, carbohydrates makes you more energy, and if you like carbs, you don't have to restrict yourself to lose weight. Whatever gonna push the needle most is what I would suggest to a client. So if you eat an American diet, I don't want you to care about these other diets. I just want you to eat 4 major food groups. If you're allergic, or if you just don't like the food group, or if you don't like the food in that food group, then don't eat it. That's simple. It's really that simple. Eat what you want with whole foods. This is very important. Eat what you want. If you're eating American diet and you switch to a whole foods diet, whatever it is, I won't suggest going to a restricted diet, because like I said, if your family's eating Burger King, or not, more realistic, pizza, or going out to eat, you can't eat that. Unless you're going to scrape off the cheese and eat the cheese off the bread of the pizza, then it's going to be very hard to sustain a healthy relationship with food. Especially if you're eating keto and everyone else is eating all this stuff. And if you like all this stuff like pizza and pasta and all that stuff, why would you restrict yourself in a specific food group? Unless it shows you more discipline. But other than that, if you don't like the mental benefits, you could care less. You just want to lose weight, and you like all 4 major food groups. Maybe some foods you don't like, to eat all 4 major food groups. Just, it depends. If you're allergic, don't eat it, obviously. If you're not, but you just don't like it, don't eat it. Like, if you're switching to your American diet to a whole foods diet, you can become healthy overall. So eat what you want. Consistency. Social media distort time with people's progress. So what I mean by this is not going to take 3 months. This is not going to take 6 months. This is going to take a couple of years. It's going to take a couple of months, to a couple of weeks, couple of years to really fully understand it. Social media really plays it. Like, you see these before and after pictures of 6-month progress journeys, 2 years, maybe 3 years, depending how obese that individual is, or how much progress they made. You see 30 pounds in 3 months. That is very not realistic, and most of them have a nutrition coach to help them to figure out how to do these procedures. But most likely, they're just cutting their calories in half and having a slow metabolism. In this generation, what I recommend, in this generation of processed food, especially, it's a lot of calorie-dense foods out there, like, you know, processed food, like cupcakes and stuff. You should speed up your metabolism. And how would you speed up your metabolism is build more muscle. If you build more muscle mass over time, you're going to become more active technically than the individual who's doing more cardio. You'll burn more calories, meaning you burn more calories than the individual who's doing more cardio. So your BMR, or resting metabolic rate, your resting your RBR or something like that, I'm not too sure, but your resting metabolic rate, if you're sedentary, you'll burn more calories than the person who's burning more calories because you build more muscle. So if you get a 200-pound individual who's mostly muscle mass compared to a 200-pound individual who's mostly fat, then that 200-pound individual who's mostly muscle will burn more calories than a 200-pound individual or mostly fat most of the time, because they have more muscle mass. And also it doesn't factor the activity of the 200-pound individual who's mostly muscle, who's probably doing a lot more activity sometimes throughout the week. So it just depends. So time is going to take longer. It's going to take longer than 3 months. 6 months you might get the rhythm of it, but it's going to take longer. It's for a long shoot. So make your decisions in advance. If you're trying to get into this, keep in mind it's not gonna take 6 months to see progress all the time. It's gonna take a year, so keep that in mind. That's the reality of it. Go to your gym and focus on getting stronger. I would suggest starting strength or Mindpump. Starting strength, like Ripperto talks about the 4-compound list. The 4-compound list is a multi-joint exercise, so it focuses on multiple muscle groups at the same time. So you won't be in the gym for a long time to do bodybuilding workouts like the rope pull down, going to the extension, and all those other workouts. You're gonna focus on one major compound lift and just do 3 sets of something, and you will get very strong over time. You'll build some muscle mass, and it's quicker. Not everyone has time for the gym, especially older people who have an office job, or a nurse or a doctor or a practitioner. They don't have all the time in the world, so they need something quick, but they need something to give them a stimulus. So the 4 compound lifts, the old compound lifts you heard about probably a long time ago, it still works to this day. It will make you strong, and I would suggest this to all people. But of course, if you have limitations like lack of mobility, injury, of course you have to supplement with other programs or exercise to actually perform. And also, if you don't like it, then you might have to change it up or see why you don't like it. So I would suggest starting strength, because they do focus on the 4 compound lists exclusively. They focus on their own way, so they're going to do low bar squatting and deadlifting conventionally. Mindpump have different programs, many programs like 15-minute workouts, a lot of different programs I suggest from Mindpump. They're really great, and they explain things like this, like I'm explaining to you individuals, with longer video formats. So I suggest looking them up. And now summer, we talk about Mindpump and starting strength. We're talking about focus on the gym and getting stronger. We also talk about distortion of time with social media, so how much things really take. We talked about how much you should focus on each macronutrient, so protein, fats, and carbs. How mentally you're there. So are you doing this for a negative or positive reason? And then lastly, are you doing this for a negative and positive reason again? You know, like if you're not mentally there and you're doing this for a negative reason, like I hate my body, I want to get healthier, that's not really the best suit, just because you're hurting yourself, you know? So, yeah. But that's really it for this video. If you guys really like content like this, I do free nutrition coaching. I'm trying to work for my CPT course training. Also, I'm trying to work for my CES, so correction exercise sports minister. I'm not too sure on that, but I'm trying to work on my NASA certificate right now. After that, this is episode 16. If you are interested with my services, go in the description below. I have a free Facebook group down below. This is Drake or NoBSNutirition.